Hi, I'm Dave from DoubleClick,
Hi, I'm Aidan from Google.
and we're here to talk to you about all things data-driven.
Today we're going to talk to you about how to build out an audience profile using some really helpful Google tools. So to try and get the conversation going, I've developed a bit of a fictitious brief. We've got a beauty brand that wants to launch a new fragrance. They're going to launch a new fragrance globally. They want to launch the product around the world. Their typical audience is actually a little bit of an older audience. But this brand, this new fragrance that they have, is going to be targeted at younger women predominantly.
Great, so Aidan, that's a really good brief. The first tool I'd recommend to use would be Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a tool that lets you analyze your web traffic and also look at the audience data points for all the people that come to your website. So within Google Analytics, we could also see the types of interest that the audience have.
Okay, so that's really useful. So like immediately I can start to think about the markets that I should be launching in, what languages I should be thinking about building out content around, and also what my audience is actually interested in to decide where my advertising should be placed. So really, really good place to start. Thanks.
What I find quite interesting in my experience is that customers don't always fully understand what their customers are doing online. I think with this particular audience, it's clear they are using the internet, but how are they using the internet and why are they using the internet?
There's this really cool tool that I came across called the Consumer Barometer. What the Consumer Barometer tells you is basically you can segment an audience and look at how they behave online. So essentially how consumers use the internet.
Okay, Aidan, so how does that audience use the internet?
In this particular segment, 64% of females between 18 and 25 research online before they actually purchase offline.
Okay, so that means that they're doing some research on their phone or desktop before they go in store?
Absolutely. The second stat that I found really interesting was that 69% of this audience first heard about the brand that they were researching online. So again, in terms of researching, online is actually very, very important when it comes to how a brand is perceived.
Okay, so there's two key points there. You're saying that, first of all, people do a lot of research before they go to store. And second of all, people are aware of brands for the first time online.
Yeah, absolutely. So a really good takeout there for this particular brand in that case, I guess, in terms of how they use online in their campaign. So another thing actually about this brief is when I think about it, my little sister is exactly in this type of audience and she's always on her mobile. She uses her mobile for absolutely everything. So basically from that I know that mobile is huge, so I'm really going to have to look at mobile properly here.
Yeah, and we can also use another one of Google's tools, Our Mobile Planet, to identify how those customers are using their mobile phones. So one of the stats that I found in Our Mobile Planet was that 71% of people use their phone when they're in store to research the product. 87% look for info throughout the entire purchasing process, and this relates very similar to the previous point we made. So mobile plays a role from awareness entirely to delivery to conversion, be that in store or online.
I think mobile is going to have to be key, right? Like everything I do is going to have to be mobile first.
When should we launch?
So that's something that we consider a lot when we look at these types of briefs. A really useful tool for this is Google Trends. What it allows you to do is to look at specific categories, or you can look at specific keywords or groups of keywords and look to see how they fluctuate in terms of search traffic throughout the year.
So I can take a term and analyze the trends of that term within the UK or different markets.
Yeah, exactly. So, for a beauty brand, they can look at their own brand versus other brands. They can look at what's popular within beauty, when that's happening throughout the year, just to try and build up a bit of a seasonality around their brand. Christmas is absolutely massive for beauty brands, so that has to be fundamental to what they do. The second thing I noticed was there is quite a bit of a bump in the middle of the year around June, July time and summertime. So I think when they're considering when to launch their brand, I think summertime has to be crucial as well.
Okay, so you're kind of saying use Google Trends for kind of three reasons. The last being what people are searching for, the kind of questions they're asking the internet.
Yeah.
The second being the competitors that you have and the competitors that are likely for the brand we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the third being the seasonality and the times when to launch, when to focus your investment on to get the best result.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was just a few examples of some of the tools that we have that you can use in planning your media, thinking about how you shape your audience. You can check out a bunch of other tools that we have on thinkwithgoogle.co.uk. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll see you again next month.
Bye.
Bye.